This video is brought to you by the movie Greenland. They sent me 5 copies to give away. You go to the Strong Opinion Sports Instagram account, find and comment on the post about the movie Greenland. In your comment, tag the movie Greenland and tag someone you want to watch it with, and I will pick the 5 winners from there. I predicted the Cincinnati Bengals to go 4-12 in 2020. I knew the team had problems, but I thought, it's going to be a fun year. They're not perfect, but at the minimum, the Bengals in 2020 are going to be a good time. Every time you turn on your TV, you watch Joe Burrow play, you watch him throw to T. Higgins, it's going to be awesome. And I thought they'd put up points, and I was fairly right. Joe Burrow was a blast to watch, and I predicted the Bengals to go 4-12. They actually went 4-11-1. I guess I missed the tie in my prediction. Now, I could not have predicted Joe Burrow getting hurt. He had a really bad injury, and I wonder how many games the Bengals might have won if Joe Burrow had not gotten hurt. I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. It'd be cool to see that. Week 11 against Washington, Joe tore his ACL. He tore his MCL. He also partially tore his meniscus and his PCL. Basically, Joe Burrow completely shredded his knee. Now, he is expected to make a full recovery, but it still really was awful. I felt bad for Joe Burrow. I love Joe Burrow. And I really hope the Bengals will invest in their offensive line, get the guy protection. Joe got hit a ton last year in his rookie year in 2020, but he's a star quarterback that needs to be protected by his organization and by his offensive line. Now, I want to give T. Higgins a shout-out. He's a rookie receiver out of Clemson. He was a second-round pick. He led the Bengals in receiving as a rookie last year. I liked the pick when it happened. Turned out to be a huge bargain, a great job. He made a ton of great plays. He had great chemistry with Joe Burrow. Shout-out to T. Higgins. Von Bell and Jesse Bates led Cincinnati in tackles. They are both safeties. It's also noteworthy that the Bengals traded away defensive end Carlos Dunlap before the trade deadline. I was hoping he'd be part of the rebuild. I was like, oh, great. They got the defensive end figured out. Turns out they had to get rid of the guy. I was disappointed. But they got an offensive lineman, B.J. Finney, and a 7th-round pick. So it could be worse in Cincinnati. Now, Joe Burrow's season-ending injury, for me, was kind of like a dark cloud over their year. I loved watching Joe play. I was heartbroken when that guy got hurt. However, oddly enough, my favorite Cincinnati Bengals moment from 2020 came well after Joe Burrow had gotten hurt. Week 15, the Bengals upset the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday Night Football. It was glorious. It was awesome. It was a great win. And even crazier, they did it with a 3rd-string quarterback. They had Ryan Finley as their starting quarterback in that game. What? Okay. And then the fact that they won, I watched that game. I remember watching live going I cannot believe what I am watching. It was a very odd game. The Steelers had 3 turnovers. That led to 17 points for Cincinnati. They had 2 fumbles and an interception. Ryan Finley had a very super quiet night. He only had 89 yards passing, but he did run for a touchdown. And after the Steelers got stopped on a 4th down, the Bengals got another field goal. They ended up winning 27-17. It was awesome. I really thoroughly enjoyed that game. And I just was like, that was kind of even though Joe Burrow's gone, we still have one good thing at the end of our year. Ha! We beat our division rival. We embarrassed them on Monday Night Football. It's very, very cool. I was happy for Cincinnati fans during that game. Now, I don't know if Joe Burrow is enough to completely turn around the Cincinnati Bengals. They haven't won a playoff game since 1991. That's horrifying. That's way too long of a time. So I think people are talking about, can Cincinnati do this and that? They need to have a good year before we talk about playoffs and really turning things around. I don't know. Again, he's a great quarterback. He makes Cincinnati fun to watch. I don't know that Joe Burrow is good enough to completely turn them around. But what I will say, I guess, in fairness, is that if any human being can get the Cincinnati Bengals to a playoff game and maybe win a playoff game, it is Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has the leadership qualities, I believe, that are required to turn around a franchise like Cincinnati. And I give the guy a chance. He likes being there, it appears. They love him. And I'm really happy that Joe Burrow, I wish he hadn't gotten hurt. I hope he gets protection in the future. But I loved watching the guy. It was such a blast to watch Joe Burrow play football in 2020.